Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unlocking a really fascinating psychological playbook derived straight from Machiavelli's observations. I mean, have you ever looked around your office, or maybe your social circle, and just thought, how on earth are these loud, highly emotional people the ones actually running things? If you've ever felt like the logical, thoughtful folks get pushed to the back while the hysterical ones just grab the wheel, well, you're absolutely not alone. In this explainer, we're going to break down exactly why that happens, and more importantly, how you can navigate this chaotic reality using what's called the rules of the marble statue. So here's our roadmap. We'll start with the certainty trap, and then walk through 4 specific rules: the marble statue, the Watchtower, biological superiority, and the extinction burst, before finally wrapping it all up with the internal citadel. These 6 steps are going to help you transition from feeling totally frustrated by office politics to becoming an untouchable, sovereign architect of your own environment.
All right, part 1, the certainty trap.
Before we get into fixing the problem, I really want to validate a frustration you have probably felt. Just watching loud, mediocre individuals take command while highly qualified, incredibly intelligent people are completely ignored. So, why do loud fools run things? Honestly, it feels like a glitch in the simulation, right? But it's not a mistake. It's actually a deeply ingrained human mechanism. See, hysterical individuals don't run the world despite their lack of logic. They run it because of it. Okay, let's dive into this. Machiavelli noticed something pretty profound. Power structures don't actually reward intelligence. They reward the appearance of certainty. Think about it. Intelligence naturally sees complexity. If you're smart, you naturally qualify your statements. You admit what you don't know, and you highlight the risks. But to the herd, that nuance just looks like weakness. The herd craves simplicity. They want loud, absolute answers delivered with complete, unearned confidence. The whole room just naturally gravitates toward that performance of certainty because, well, it's comforting. This is the certainty trap, and it literally makes your intelligence look like a liability. Moving on to part 2. Rule 1. The marble statue. Now, this rule is all about fundamentally changing how you interact with emotional chaos. When hysterical people act out or disrespect you or just create a ton of emotional noise, what they're really doing is trying to transfer their chaotic energy into your system. So to stop them, you use the mirror of the void. This is a terrifying, absolute absence of reaction that proves to the aggressor their words have zero mass. Instead of reacting, you become the wind. Your icy silence creates this canyon that offers no echo whatsoever. And this total lack of reaction induces what the source actually calls an ontological shock. You're literally making them doubt their own existence and the impact of their actions. And this brilliantly illustrates our point. If you get angry, explain yourself, or argue, you've accepted the arrow. Think of the emotional aggressor as an archer, desperately wanting you to be their target. If you argue back, if you try to logically explain yourself to their completely hysterical outburst, you have accepted their arrow. You've validated their chaotic reality. By arguing, you're basically telling them, yes, your chaos is real and it affects me. But by remaining a marble statue, that arrow just shatters right against you. Which brings us to part 3, Rule 2, the Watchtower. This is where we shift your mindset from being a reactive slave to becoming a sovereign architect of the whole interaction. You are no longer just absorbing the chaos, you're analyzing it from above. There are 3 crucial steps here. Ignore the what, narrate the how, ask a clinical question. So instead of engaging with the actual content of their emotional outburst, you analyze their behavior. Let me model this for you. Imagine someone is just yelling at you. You drop your volume to a calm, clinical, almost diagnostic tone, like a doctor observing a patient, and you simply say, "I notice your voice is elevated." Does using that tone provide you with a sense of relief? Do you see how powerful that is? By analyzing their behavior rather than arguing their points, you completely strip the outburst of its power. You remain the marble statue, and they just look like a pigeon flailing around you. All right, part 4, Rule 3, biological superiority. This rule focuses heavily on the physical and biological cues of dominance. It's not just about what you say or don't say. It's about how your physical body communicates absolute control. Just think about the contrast between a chihuahua and a wolf. In the wild, the animal that loses control of its emotions gets eaten. Dominance, being the alpha, is physically signaled by having the absolutely lowest heart rate in the room. When a chihuahua is threatened, it barks loudly, its heart races, it makes a ton of noise. But if a chihuahua barks at a wolf, the wolf doesn't bark back. The wolf maintains a low heart rate, uses slow blinking, and just watches. You need to be the wolf. Maintain a flat tone, blink slowly, physically signal to them that they are absolutely not a threat to you. On to part 5, Rule 4, the extinction burst.
Let's move to the timeline and see how this actually builds. This is your ultimate defensive rule, and honestly, it is your greatest stress test. Across the timeline of an extinction burst, we see exactly what happens after you implement those first 3 rules. In phase 1, moment 0, you withdraw your reaction. You completely stop giving them the emotional supply they crave. But look at phase 2, just minutes later. They don't just give up, oh no, they escalate. They will scream louder or try to trigger your old wounds, mashing that emotional button harder because, well, it used to work. Then we hit phase 3, the duration. This is where you must hold what the source calls the obsidian wall. If you flinch right now, you prove your silence was just a temporary trick. But if you hold firm, you reach phase 4, the end, where the opponent completely exhausts their chaotic energy and just has to move on to easier prey.
Finally, part 6, building the internal citadel. We're shifting gears a bit here at the end, because the ultimate goal isn't just about defeating loud people in the office. It's about elevating yourself. This is the final empowerment phase. So the crucial point is this concept of the internal citadel. It's a state of mind where your value is determined strictly by your own code, not by all the noise of the world around you. Machiavelli noted that a true leader, a prince, commands respect because they are flawlessly consistent. While most people out there are just creatures of circumstance, getting blown around by whatever emotional wind happens to be blowing that day, you are building an internal fortress. You literally become the architect of your own mythology through your unshakable consistency. And we'll wrap up this explainer with a provocative question for you to ponder. Will you choose with open eyes? It is time to stop being managed by the loud and the thoughtless. You now understand the invisible architecture of power and the specific mechanisms that elevate fools. So the choice is yours. You can keep complaining about the chaos, or you can build in silence, become the obsidian wall, and step up to take that empty throne. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive, and I challenge you to start building your marble statue today.